Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. And we begin with some breaking news tonight. A 6-month-old baby safe after that shooting in Airway Heights. That's where we find KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk tonight. And Kyle, what can you tell us about this situation?
Well, yeah, Mark, I just spoke with the Airway Heights police chief. He was able to confirm some more details. Basically, around 8 p.m. tonight, Airway Heights police got a call that a woman had been shot in the arm at a home here near Treeline and First Avenue. It's not too far away from the Geiger Heights Correctional Facility. That caller also said that a man had taken a 6-month-old baby and left in a red van heading towards Sacred Heart Hospital because he apparently had a gunshot wound as well. So police say that hospital was put into a lockdown as that man and the 6-month-old baby were approaching it. Airway Heights police were pursuing that vehicle. They were able to detain the man in the hospital parking lot, actually. The other female that was here at the house, she was taken to another hospital for a reported gunshot wound. That 6-month-old baby is safe. Police don't know the connection right now between the two adults. They're still working to confirm that, but the chief told me they do believe this is a domestic violence case. So those two people could obviously be in a relationship and having that child together. So Airway Heights police, they're still investigating out here. Sacred Heart, that lockdown has been lifted, but still a very active scene out here in Airway Heights. We're going to try to gather some more information. We'll report it just as soon as we can. Mark, I'll send it back to you.
Kyle, thank you very much. Glad that baby is safe tonight. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. In the last 2 weeks, we have seen 4 shootings in the Spokane area, which has brought up safety concerns in the community.
We have amazingly talented detectives and investigators, but ultimately these investigations aren't magic. We need people to talk to us and provide us information.
Data from the Spokane Police Department shows a total of 40 shootings in Spokane so far this year. That puts us ahead of where we were at this time last year, and that does not reflect the 4 recent shootings. So coming up, we will share why SPD says this is an alarming trend and it needs the community's help to address it. Well, there is now a cash reward for information leading to the man suspected of shooting a woman at a Spokane Valley motel. Take a look at your screen. This is Joshua W. Seth that we'll see here right there. He is 30 years old and should be considered armed and dangerous. Crime Stoppers of the Inland Northwest is offering a reward for information that leads to his arrest. Seth is wanted on a whole list of charges in connection with that shooting at the Red Top Hotel on March 30th. A woman was shot late that morning. She's not been identified yet. She was taken to the hospital, though, in critical condition. So anyone with any information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at that number right there at the bottom of your screen.
A lot of people will say, hey, you're not hurt. It's okay, but this still hurts, not physically, I'm okay, my body's fine, but emotionally, this really sucks.
Cleanup continues today after winds topping 60 miles an hour knocked out power to thousands of people and sent trees crashing into houses, sheds, cars, and roadways. Thankfully, it wasn't as damaging as previous windstorms, but it certainly brought back memories of previous storms. Coming up in just about 10 minutes, why one Deer Park resident is now reliving a similar experience from last year's storm. All right, dog lovers, now is your chance to weigh in on a new dog park being built in Riverfront Park. A survey from the city gives you a chance to give your input on what features are most important to you. Options include items like separate areas for large and small dogs, designated digging areas, dog watch stations, and dog misters or water play features. You can even vote on what kind of surface you'd like to see, from pea gravel to grass to synthetic turf or sand. The urban dog park is expected to cost about $750,000 to build. And that was your night beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, if you have any spring break travel plans, keep your eye on your flights. Since Friday, thousands of flights have been canceled nationwide, including dozens at SeaTac. The Spokane airport has seen mostly delays, not cancellations, in Alaska Airlines flights. In some cases, the cancellations were because of weather, but at SeaTac, pilot shortages were to blame. Travel is rebounding, and travel agents say you should certainly plan ahead. The airport is reporting the most cancellations yesterday were flights headed to and from Dallas, Orlando, Boston, and to Tampa. New data is out on Oregon's new drug law. Back in 2020, Oregon was the first state to decriminalize possession of small amounts of drugs like meth, LSD, and heroin. Instead of a felony charge, offenders got a maximum $100 fine. The state can even waive that fine if someone opts for a mental health assessment, but the numbers show few people do that. Out of about 2,000 people cited, only 92 have called the hotline. Authorities say they are surprised, but they also add it is too early to judge the success or failure of decriminalization. The Washington State Patrol investigating after a Spokane semi-truck driver was killed in a crash yesterday morning. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to the scene of a semi that had flipped over, and they said its brakes caught on fire. Deputies learned the semi had been driving downhill on McNeil Canyon Road and entered a corner too fast. The driver was the only person in the truck. He's been identified as 57-year-old Daniel Herberer. WSP is now trying to determine the exact cause of that crash. All right, tonight, taking a live look at Snoqualmie Pass right now. The mountains got hit by a big snowstorm. This is a pretty late in the season for that storm. Snoqualmie could be seeing up to a foot today. We'll have to check those numbers. Chains are required to go over Snoqualmie Pass right now. And if you are planning on taking Stevens Pass, traction tires are advised there as well. Well, between the heavy mountain snow and yesterday's windstorm, it has been a busy week weather-wise so far. Let's get straight to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. He's joining us right now in the studio tonight. And Jeremy, have we seen the worst of it in terms of the wind and the, I guess, colder temperatures?
Yes, kind of for now. This is the way I'm looking at this. When it comes to the colder temperatures, well, let's not talk about next week. Let's just do this. Temps already in the 30s and dropping. It is going to be a chilly night. And with wind calming down and skies clearing, I would not be shocked if we fell into the 20s in many locations. Already in the 30s in Coeur d'Alene, 32 in Sandpoint, and low 40s out in central Washington. Wind continues to die down. Seriously, when you're talking 18-mile-per-hour wind gusts, that's basically enough to wiggle some trees, and that's it. Overnight, we'll continue to watch those winds die down, and by tomorrow morning, negligible. We got a little bit of snow on the radar. So little is coming out of this, and we're basically so done with this that forecast models are saying, nope, no more snow. So basically what you're seeing right now is kind of it. By the time you wake up tomorrow, yeah, those are the 20s. It's a chilly start to the day, but we should jump by almost 30 degrees as we head into the afternoon. And that's thanks to a little bit of sun, a lack of wind, and yeah, the fact that our average high temperature this time of year is 54.
All right, looking forward to being average. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Turning to your international news now, Ukrainian officials say they have uncovered more evidence of war crimes committed by Russian soldiers near Kyiv. This comes as they believe hundreds of civilians were tortured and killed before the Kremlin pulled its forces out of the towns and villages around the capital city. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for Russia's removal from the UN Security Council and said its political and military leaders should face charges. The White House today also said another round of economic sanctions could be unveiled on Wednesday. Those new sanctions are expected to ban all new investment in Russia. Well, some exciting news for golf fans. Tiger Woods announced today that he will be playing in this week's Masters tournament. This comes after Woods had been on a hiatus from golf after a car crash last year that nearly resulted in doctors amputating his leg. The 15-time major champion had not competed on the PGA Tour since the November 2020 Masters.
1/3 of those borrowers told us that in preparation of payments resuming in May, they are skimping out on basic needs like food, rent, and healthcare.
The White House is getting ready to extend a pandemic-era freeze on federal student loan payments. The pause on payments had been set to expire on May 1st. Now the White House plans to extend that freeze through August. More than 36 million people have not had to pay their loans since March of 2020, totaling about $195 billion so far. The Student Debt Crisis Center and Savvy surveyed more than 23,000 borrowers and found that 92% of those now fully employed still concerned about making their loan payments. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. Don't go to bed just yet, though. We are taking a closer look at recent shootings across Spokane and what police are saying about the increase in violence. Plus, later on in the broadcast, yesterday's windstorm left a lot of damage around the area. We'll share why one woman says the storm was a bit of deja vu for her. We are back in just 90 seconds.